Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I'm so excited to have you guys here today because today we are going to be doing a craft room tour. Now, I've been so excited to film this video because I love my craft room. It's my special space, my place of comfort, and all the things that I love are in this room. So I'm super excited to share it with you. It's been a room that I've been decorating for a couple years, kind of adding things as I go, taking things away that didn't work, and I'm really excited to show you guys. Now, I will say before we start this video that this video is by no means bragging. I understand how fortunate I am to be able to have a space like this that I know not everyone can have, but when I was planning my craft room, I watched so many of these videos and they gave me so many good tips and tricks, different organization tricks for organizing all their crafts, and I took little pieces from every video, and now that my room is completed pretty much, I think, I wanted to add my own to the mix. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you enjoy my space here, and let's get into it. All right, so when we first walk in, we have this table. My husband made this for me. It's basically just a piece of white wood, and these are the IKEA drawers. It was a black set, and I just painted it white. And then these are the IKEA inserts. So I just got the drawers, the cupboards, a drawer cupboard, and then I just put some baskets in, and then the open shelves as well. On the other side, we just screwed legs to the top so that the underside was open. So I'll just start in this first drawer here. I just have, this is kind of my junk drawer. I have some safety eyes, a bunch of different sizes. I have some, honestly, a lot of this stuff is from my Crochet Society box. So I have pom-poms, I have this little My Crochet yearbook that I got from there, some hooks and needles, some extra string, just like kind of like a bunch of odds and ends in this drawer, nothing super exciting. Now in the next drawer, I just have some of my medium weight yarn, and these are just like my neutral colors. So all my blacks and grays and beiges and whites are in here. In this little basket, I don't really have much, just Play-Doh and bubbles and chalk for my son. I have yet to find something to go in here. In this little cubby area, I just have some parchment paper. I'm not exactly sure why I have this here. I'm sure I used it for something, but I can't remember why. I have some cards, again, not really sure. I'm a huge cricketer, so I have all my Cricut pens in here, all the different colors and everything, and then my Cricut, like my paper cutter. And then here are my massive rolls of my transfer tape and my stenciling. So I buy my my Cricut supplies from a bulk supplier here in Calgary. I just find that you get more for your money. It's cheaper and I like the quality a lot better. So this is what I use when I make wood signs or anything that I'm stenciling, and this is just transfer paper. In this cupboard down here, again, this is kind of just like a oddball cupboard. I have a bunch of weighted beads for like weighted stuffed animals. And then just like phone chargers, extra phone screen protectors and clipboards, and just kind of like an oddball cupboard here. In this basket, I have a bunch of felts from when I was doing some crochet with felts. And then I also have some of this cloth from when I was doing punch needling, which I really enjoyed, but I kind of stopped doing. That's kind of all that's in there. And then this is kind of the beginning of my craft paper collection. I tried to organize it best I could. It's my husband and I's travel book that we went when we went to Asia. But lots of like craft paper down here for when I'm doing my Cricut or making cards over Christmas or whatever that it may be that I'm doing. This cupboard is a little messy, but this is just my scraps from my stenciling, more transfer tape, and then I have some large rolls of my removable black vinyl and white vinyl in here. In this drawer, this is kind of just my supplies. So I have my hole puncher, my cutter, empty tape, calculator, things like that, whiteboard marker. And then in here, this is usually my packing drawer. So I have little like handmade with love cards. I have thank you cards, my camera measuring tape, some pipe cleaners, some tongue depressors for projects that I was doing, some tissue paper. So that's kind of my packaging. I don't package a lot of stuff. A lot of my stuff is on Etsy. So now over here, I just have this organizer. I got this from Michael's. And this just organizes all my craft paper. So I have, you know, shiny, I have sparkly, and then all my other craft papers all the way down to our neutrals. And then I have just like fun little tie-dye ones. And then in here, these bins are just scraps. So scrap paper, scrap heat transfer vinyl. And then this is just scrap regular vinyl and transfer vinyl. Up here is all my other vinyl, and I got this wheel at Michael's as well. And so yeah, I try and organize my vinyl best I can up here, but it never stays organized. So, and then throughout I just have all my crochet stuffies that I make. So my squid, my jelly, and then up here was my attempt at organizing my stuffed animals. So I try and keep it as organized as I can. I just wanted a place that I could display them, even though they're not all displayed perfectly, but I like looking at them, so it's nice to have them out. Down here is just my watermelon pillow, and then this is just my bin of samples. So for my YouTube videos, all the different things that I create, all the different swatches that I make for scrunchies and granny squares and everything, they all go in here. My tassels, my bookmarks, everything. So that's kind of where that goes. I don't really know what I'm going to do with all of it, but it's nice to have anyways. And then on the side here of this little thing, I just have all my Cricut mats for the different grips. Next, we'll go over the top of this table. So this area right here is where I do all my filming. So this is my ring light, and I have it angled all the way down, and then this is where I put my phone. I film all my videos with my phone just because I don't have a professional camera right now, but it works really well, so I don't mind it. But yeah, so I have my microphone here, all my different crochet hooks. This is kind of my notebook with, you know, things I want to make sure that I say, or plans for videos or whatever, with my Sharpie. And then I have my main supplies that I always use, my scissors, my darning needle, and my fabric pins. And these are all stitch markers here. And then I have my laptop set up. I usually just screen mirror so that I can see what I'm doing. And then I usually will read my patterns off of my iPad so that I can do crochet alongs. So that's kind of my setup with my chair here. And then these are my cute little plants. This guy is so cute. He's my favorite. He's got like the cutest little pot. This one is getting really big. My husband had to anchor it up with a knitting needle and some string, but it's holding quite well, so I'll have to fix that later. Now on the other side here, this is my Cricut area. So this is my Cricut machine. I love it. I use it all the time. And this is my Cricut mat. So I do all my cricketing over here. And then this is just my organizer for all my essentials for cricketing. So I have all my specialty pens, so my all my infusible ink pens, as well as my metallics, I keep in here. General pens and Sharpies, my stress ball, because, you know, who doesn't need a stress ball? These are remotes for the ring light, and then I just have a scraper here, some gum, and then in this little compartment, I have my little singular hole punch. I have my double-sided tapes and my regular Scotch tape. I have my X-Acto knife, my Cricut X-Acto knife, which I love using. It's probably my favorite tool. And then just a couple odds and ends in here. Nothing exciting, a little tape measure, eraser, things like that. So that is kind of where I keep that all organized. Now moving over here, this area is my pegboard and my drawers. So on top here, I just have my printer, which I never really use, but it's good to have anyways. And then I have my Cricut heat press as well, which I use all the time. And then just have a little tote bag here that I made. This is how I roll. Thought that was really cute. So on my pegboard, I love this thing. It's so cute, but I have all my washi tape that I never use, but you know, grateful to have it anyways. In these little jars here, I keep all my safety eyes for my amigurumi, the backings, and then the 2 different sizes that I use. I do have other ones like I showed you earlier, but they don't really fit in here. Over here, I have all my Cricut tools and my roller down there. So I'm missing a few things because they're elsewhere, but that's where I keep all that. Moving up, just a crochet book here. This is the Annie's catalog that our patterns are in. So I keep that out because I'm really proud of it. Some more little gadgets. This is for loveys, some foam paint stampers, some needle or pins, my niece and nephew, and then I made this little sign, yarn is my love language, and my husband and me when I was pregnant, just because, you know, those are the people that I love and I like to have them in my space. All right, now moving down, I think these are called the Alex drawers, I'm pretty sure, but they're amazing and I love them. So I just have 2 of them here. So I'll go through what I have in them. So in this first drawer, I just have kind of like odds and ends. I have glue sticks, pens, sewing supplies. I have, you know, post-it notes, tape. It was my son's birthday, so I have a birthday boy thing here. But that's just kind of like a random junk drawer. Next here, I have all my glue sticks and my hot glue gun, a bunch of sparkles. I have blade replacements, some of these clips here, extra hangers that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet. And yeah, just a couple things that I got from my Crochet Society boxes. This is just like a luggage tag. I'm sure I will use one day. Next, this is the messy drawer. This is just filming equipment, my old camera that I don't know how to use really well. Maybe one day I'll learn, but as of right now, I don't use that. Just a bunch of like different ring lights and everything. Down here, I have packaging stuff that I don't really use that much. I have just some extra, these are just, honestly, I got these at the dollar store for crafts for my son, and they work really, really well. And some of my diffuser essential oils and such. I also have in here, I did some Christmas ornaments one year, so I have leftovers of that. These are just like extra tote bags, and yeah, so that's just kind of an everything drawer. Down here I have, again, these are just from my son's birthday. These are just packaging, sleeves, some printer paper, just a lot of packaging stuff in these drawers. They're not very organized, I do apologize, but you know, that's real life. So on this one, up on the top here, I have all my pens, my pencils, paints, markers, my adult coloring book, which I haven't used in a long time, but still happy to have that. In here, I just have some Cricut infusible ink and just some things I cut out on my Cricut that I haven't found use for yet, but I want to keep. So there's that. And then this is where I keep all my cotton yarns. So these again are just a bit of a disaster, but yeah, so these are all my size 4 yarns that I have. And then this drawer down here is all my size 3 yarns that I have. My collection seems to be growing. And then down here, I just have thank you cards. Just honestly, nothing really big in here, just thank you cards mostly. And that is what's in my drawers. Now moving on to this section over here, this cubby thing is also from IKEA. I can't remember what it's called, but this is where I keep all my Bernat yarn. I don't use Bernat yarn very much anymore, so I'm trying to work through my stock, but it's hard to do just because I don't use it very much. So this is kind of where it sits for now. I have an extra tripod here in case I need it. And then up here, I just have some more stuffies. I have my little water, my diffuser. These are my punch hole creations that I was working on, and I really, really liked it. This one was a pattern that I purchased, and I thought it was so pretty. So there's that. And then, yeah, this is just a little container with some size 2 thread, this really big fake plant, my sister-in-law, all the people that I love. Over here, I just, I made this sign, Make Beautiful Things, and this is my little pegboard thing for lettering. So I just put yarn over my seahorse. And then moving on over here, I have my calendar that I seriously never use with a picture of my husband and me. I want to be better at using this, but I'm really inconsistent, but it's nice to have anyways in case I decide I want to use it one day. Moving down here, I have this little setup. So I actually made this just out of these like wooden crates here that I just got from Michael's. And this holds all my baby snuggle yarn, my neutrals. So all my browns and my blacks and grays and my whites and beiges over here. This is just our double Dutch sign that we use if we do markets or anything like that. The owl and our squid. And then in here I just have some yarn that isn't a full ball. Hopefully one day I'll use up. A couple projects I need to block, and some more yarn. And then this is also where I keep my stuffing for my amigurumi. I don't really have a fun, cool place for that yet, so it just sits here in the bag. Now, this closet is a disaster. It doesn't really have anything crochet related in it. It's just a bunch of, you know, my filing cabinets in there. I have some packaging things, but basically it's just a bunch of junk. So I'm not going to show you that, but you know, you're not missing out on much. Now moving down to underneath, this is a bit of a disaster, but it's organized chaos. So this is underneath the table. So the table is just right here. My Cricut's just right here. This is where I store all my prop stuff. So all the props for photos that I take. So, you know, Easter props with eggs and Halloween props. I have just like little things that I've collected over the years for taking photos and stuff. That's what I keep under here. I also keep some bags here if I am going to be packaging, gifting, sending stuff. I usually will use these. And then all the letters for my letter boards that I have. But yeah, it's definitely chaotic down here, but it works. They have a couple like backsplashes back here. This is the faux fur carpet that I use for basically everything because it's my favorite. It's just really clean. But yeah, so that's where I keep all of my props. And then in these 2 bags of yarn, I have all the yarn I use for my crochet tutorials. So anything on YouTube, you're gonna see this yarn. It's just kind of like a collection of mismatched yarn that I've collected over the years. It's nothing's really pretty about it. It's just kind of everywhere. But there's lots of good different colors, different textures for all my different tutorials. So that's where I keep all of that yarn. Now over here, I just have my displayed baby snuggle yarn. I try and kind of keep it color coordinated, but it doesn't always work that way, but it's my favorite yarn to use for my amigurumi. It's super, super, super soft. So I just like to buy as many colors as I can have. So when I get an idea in my head, I can just come in here and peruse my own yarn shop and pick out what I want to use and then create it right away. Because I live in Canada, so a lot of this yarn can take 1 to 2 months to arrive. And by the time that happens, sometimes the ideas are gone. So I like to just have it here. I know not everybody is able to do that. I'm very fortunate, and it's not necessary, but it is really nice to be able to do. And that is the craft room tour. Thank you guys so much for coming along. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!